Welcome to Little Fish. My name's Hugh Lovesey. One of our key tools is the money story, which we've developed to help people understand their finances better. And this works from remote Aboriginal communities right the way through to large international corporations.
Above all, we want to empower you to do it for yourselves. Others have done it, and you can present it too. After all, you know best how to pass on information to your own community. The first thing we help you with is your information cycle. That is, we help you check that there's one common language of power and money that everyone understands, right the way through from people living on the community to the managers or manager. Now, your manager or managers do all the paperwork that they give to the accountant who prepares the financial reports. Then your accountant presents that to the directors or the committee, and of course the next step is the committee or directors pass on information to community members in a way that they can understand. And then community members are kept clear about the main ideas. And that's every senior person and every important family member. Then these people pass their ideas back to the directors or committee members. And then after that, the directors or committee members pass their ideas back to the accountant, back to their managers, about how they feel the business is going and how they want the reports presented. When we work with organisations, one of the first things we do is help them check their information cycle. That is there a strong common language that empowers everyone to talk about and think about the money going through their organisation? Quite often what happens is that financial reports are prepared in a far off place. They're presented to the committee or to the board, and only a few people truly understand the whole story. And that means that when the story gets passed on to people in the community, there's a lot of different stories out there and things aren't really clear. And often what we find is that practically nothing is passed back to the committee members, and then the committee members don't have the information, the story, to pass on anywhere else. And what this results in is a question: who is really in control when people don't understand the story? So that's why we work with you. We work to find out exactly where the block is. It could be reports presented to the directors is not clear enough. Maybe the directors find it hard to pass on information to community members. Maybe community members and board members can't even pass their ideas back to make clear what they want. So what we're about is putting you, the owners, at the centre, so there's a clear single language, and you as the owners and the people that look after your organisation are really in control. Here's an example of just one of the sort of things we could do to support you to get a clear story about how money flowed through your organisation. And in this particular example, we're taking a business like a community store. But of course you might have an organisation that was a health service or something funded by the government, and then we'd do something a little bit different. But the first thing, if you own your own business, you've got to say who's in control. Is that business making enough money to survive? If it's not making a profit, that business is going to finish up. On the other hand, we've got to think about the community road. Are people on that community, happy with their business, happy with that store? Is it doing what they want for them? We have to find a balance, and we support you in doing that. The next thing we say, do you have enough money in the bank to run that store or that business? How's your weekly sales going? So we help you actually get really clear about that. Then we help you see very clearly whether you're making enough money or not, and that's called profit and loss. Say like in a community store, it's confusing because there's a lot of sales, a lot of expenses, and usually only a very small profit. Very easy to get distracted by the big amount in the till. And then we look at how strong or weak your business is, and basically that means how much is your business owed, how much does it owe to other people, and how much does it owe to the owners. And then we take you through the last and most important step, which is just because the business owes money to the owner doesn't mean they can take it out. Why is that? Well, it's because it might be all tied up in your freezers or your cool room if you were a store, or it might be locked in money, such as money you had to keep to pay pension checks, or money that you had to pay when you wanted new goods. So you couldn't take that out even if it was owed to you. Then we help you check your safety money, and then finally how much money goes to the owners. So you can see that we work through a very clear story. Is the business healthy? Are the people happy? And we trace the money as it flows right the way through that business. The key thing here is that we can do this on any level. We can do it all through spreadsheets. We can use an advanced form of pictures, or we can use very simple pictures so that the committee or board can pass on to the owners. The choice is yours. So coming back to the information cycle, the importance that there's one common, clear language that everyone can understand to help keep the organization healthy and happy. So we can work wherever you think the biggest need is, the biggest block is. It might be with standard financial reports from the accountant to the directors, or the directors might like to have it in graphics, or they might like to have help passing it on to community members. And we're working with a company called OT3 to help information get passed back. They've got an excellent system called Sentinel, and Sentinel helps that information come back. And then finally, we want to really get one point clear, that graphics and pictures aren't things dumbed down for people that don't have education. Everyone's using them now. And let's go to the weather report.
Good evening, everyone. It is currently Christmas Eve, December 24th out here, and today we are looking at the possible development of Tropical Cyclone Grant just off the northern coast of Australia here, just north of Darwin.
Or would you prefer your weather report given like they did 100 years ago? So how would you like your finance report? Perhaps like this.
If you look at this chart of US GDP, it looks pretty good. Steady improvement in the growth rate throughout 2011 from the low point of the first quarter, and a big contrast to the massive contraction in the last quarter of 2008.